Hey guys, it's Maria Park and welcome to Approach the Nerd. Sorry for the 4-minute delay. I had a sneezing fit. So instead of Approach the Nerd, we're going with Approach the Allergies right now. I wanted to talk about Kung Fu, Season 1, Episode 11, because this is a show I've been, for the most part, enjoying. Only recently have I been having issues with it. And again, it's because of the writing. um, I've been having some issues also with the character of Nicky because Nicky's character, having been revealed to be the chosen one, the descendant of the original woman who wielded, the sword that she apparently is supposed to inherit, finding out there are other guardians. I feel like Nicky, even though she's only had 3 years of training in Kung Fu, should be a lot stronger than she actually is. And unfortunately, she's not. I don't know if it's the choreography. I don't know what it is, but I will tell you, when I watch her spar or fight with specifically Lady Z, Zelon, what I call Lady Z, it's almost like Lady Z should be the chosen one. And I don't know. I just feel like she's not a strong character. And then she makes decisions that are very questionable. So in this episode, her and Henry have hooked up. They've done it, the deed, and they did it in the library. And like people are like knocking on the door to try and get in. And they're like picking up their clothes, trying to straighten everything out because they obviously made a mess. And of course, they're, Nikki's having flashbacks of what was happening in the library, which is why we know they slept together. Cute couple, no problem with that. But she's a lot more relaxed and not as driven to find the last weapon, since technically Lady Z has all 7 and is getting the last one now. And it's like not a rush for her as opposed to mostly all of this season. She's just determined to, work with Henry to figure out, how to find this last weapon. And so she notices that there is a singer named Simon, I think his last name is Lau, and he sings K-pop. He's a K-pop singer, and he was doing a concert in Las Vegas. So they decided to drive up there and try to convince him to either get, I'm assuming they wanted the hammer. What's interesting for me is that he doesn't believe her, even when she says that Nikki's like, I'm a guardian. And, he has a necklace with the symbol of his family that are guardians of this hammer. He plays it off like it's superstition. And, then he lets them know that first he thinks that they are Lady Z because Lady Z had already called him to offer money for the hammer. And of course, Simon turned it down because it's a family, I guess, heirloom. So Kerwin and of course Lady Z are on their way to get that weapon. We mean that's what's going to happen. And of course, Nicky and Henry try to warn him. Now to get into see him, this is what I'm talking about, where I talk about Nicky's questionable decisions. She and Henry literally steal the tickets of these 2 girls that are in front of them. And I don't get why thieving is such a thing in this show. It's like, it's okay to steal and take what doesn't belong to you. That's weird. Like, it's really weird. I mean, I know that Henry used to do that when he was younger and he had his juvenile, record, I guess, pretty much closed. And so he, was able to live an adult life without a criminal record. But I mean, he saw the tickets. He looked at Nicky. She kind of had a moment of doubt and she's like, meh. And then they just took the tickets and they literally let these 2 girls who probably saved up to see this concert to get backstage. Now, granted, one of the girls was kind of entitled sounding and blah, blah, blah. But that does not give you a green card to steal these tickets from these girls. And I don't know. I just found that to be very weird, which is why I'm saying it is a writing problem for me. But long story short, Simon doesn't initially believe Nicky and Henry until Lady Z shows up with Kerwin and they basically kill his manager and bodyguard. I believe it was his manager. And then, of course, his bodyguard, and then attempt to kill him. Now, Simon's hiding a secret. He, even though he thinks that it's all superficial and like, the stories he's talking about are just like nursery rhymes. He was trained to fight since he was 5. So he actually brings out the hammer and he starts doing some damage to Lady Z. But I'm like, I don't know. I feel like Lady Z is so much a better of a character than Nicky. And I know that sounds bad because Nicky's the lead of the show, but like, it's how they write her. She's one-dimensional. She does not have very good, she has mediocre fighting skills. If it wasn't for Simon even helping her, she would have been dead. She can't take Lady Z. So they're trying to find this vault to go, and basically the vault is where they need to go when they have all the weapons. So she's like, oh, I'm going to find the vault. And I'm like, what are you going to do with the vault? Because honestly, you're just going to get your A handed to you once again. Lady Z has creamed her in every episode they have fought in. And like, I don't understand. I don't understand. And let's get to some side stuff here. I'll get to Joe and Ryan in a minute because I'm still in my feelings about this. So the parents want to sell the restaurant. It's becoming too expensive for their rent, where their restaurant is located. They're barely affording it. I guess what they're taking in is not enough. So they've decided they're going to cut back on the restaurant and eventually close, and then pay off their debt and eventually go on a trip and live their lives. And Ryan's all like, why would you give up on that? Why are you just going to cut your losses and leave? And blah, blah, blah. And of course, he's in his feelings because Joe left, which I'll talk about in a second. But, the parents are, they have a dying business. It's just what it is. This could so be a representation of the businesses that kind of went out of business because of COVID. That's something that I'm kind of relating that to. So they want to live their best life. But at the same time, they are a retirable age. They've been doing this forever. These kids are grown. They live in your house. I still have no idea how the hell Nicky affords anything. But again, this is CW bank account stuff that I keep talking about. You don't have to have a job. You don't have to do anything. You just literally get to live your life. I'm like, I don't know how, but it's not realistic. So, but yeah, so they're going to sell the restaurant. And then poor Ryan. Now, little sidetrack. Technically, I need to mention that Althea is in this episode, but she is only talking about +1s. We are not talking about her court case, going after the man who assaulted her, none of that stuff. For some reason, that's not anything they're talking about in this episode, which is very interesting to me. Since she decided to go forward, you would think they'd have a little bit of that in this too, but no, I guess it's not an issue. And if it's not in the next episode, I think the next episode or the one after it is the season finale. So, I don't know what to say, but Althea's thing is on the sidelines. Now, let's talk about Ryan and Joe. But do we really need to talk about Joe? They brought Joe into this situation, giving us the hope that this was finally going to be a CW series that allows 2 men to be in a stable and loving relationship, which is the ultimate LGBT representation. Because for some reason, I think the CW, and this doesn't just happen with the CW, but a lot of networks believe as long as you have a gay or trans or whatever character, you have representation. But when the characters don't do anything, they don't represent anything. They're just placeholders. They are tokens. And so I'm in my feelings because they literally showed us what potentially could have been an amazingly adorable, stable, sweet romance between these 2 guys, just to break them up because Joe got a job offer and now he's gone. Joe was in this series a millisecond. Honestly, this could have been a Tinder date. I'm just being real with you. A Tinder date where they decided to hang out a little bit. Honestly, if I was going to relate them to something, even though the other character got to stay, I would say this is Mel and Ruby from Charmed. The only thing is Ruby got upgraded to regular character status and Joe got booted. And I think it's so sad. I am so tired of Dare to Defy being like, that's their motto being literally in words only, because they, in the LGBT content they put out, every single couple they have had, except for Sarah and Ava on Legends, has been a poop. So I'm in terms of Ryan as a character, yes, I'm happy that they have included the fact that his sexuality is that he identifies as being a gay male. That's fine. But what's the point when you can't have a successful relationship, when your sister's in a love triangle and you can't even keep your own relationship because that's what the writing says? So it's stupid. And so I'm it's making it hard for me to invest in this show, because it's just the Nancy Drew thing for me. It's the same thing that happened with Bess and Liza Beth and like all this crazy crap that happened in terms of LGBT. So I don't get it. All I've learned now is if you have an LGBT character and it's the only character in your series, don't look for representation there, because it doesn't matter. So it's a thing. Now back to the whole battle with Lady Z, Kerwin, Henry, Nicky, and surprisingly Simon. Simon was doing a lot better than Nicky was. Simon was kicking A. And again, yes, he did train since he was 5. Lady Z's trained a long time too. Nicky's only had 3 years. I get this. But again, like, Nicky's supposed to be the chosen one. Doesn't that give her like an edge up? I mean, in the pilot episode, she was able to levitate a little bit off the ground. Why is she doing nothing now? Why is she doing nothing but get her A kicked? Like, there was literally a moment where Lady Z is fighting and Nicky is blocking, but she's blocking high, which is someone who's taken martial arts for a big chunk of her life. You should have seen the gut punch coming. There's no reason that you should have not been able to block that. And so it's just, the choreography is very hard for me and disappointing to watch. So I don't know, guys. I'm struggling. I am struggling with this series. Especially since the potential for these characters, once again, I mean, there's so much they can do. And I just feel like the lead character is just dropping the ball for me in terms of believability. And I don't believe for a second, even if she turns around and then all of a sudden has this supernatural fighting strength that she hasn't shown anywhere else in the season, it's going to be really hard for me to believe that. Nothing she has done or trained, she's barely trained hardly at all since she's been back. Nothing is showing me that she is the chosen one. So, and at this point, we're in episode 11. If there's only 14 episodes, maybe 13. I have to look and see. I mean, there could be 16. But nothing to this point has shown me that Nicky is the chosen one. And that's a problem, since that's literally that's your stick. You are the chosen one. So I don't know. Am I being too harsh? Maybe, but that's how I feel right now. It's just watching that fight with Lady Z and her. No. And then of course, watching Henry and Kerwin battle it out, and then Kerwin actually defeating Henry, beating Henry down. That was interesting too. So we got Henry and Nicky, both who've studied martial arts in China, different forms, but in China, get their butts handed to them by 2 even more talented martial artists who are just happen to be on the side of evil, I guess. And at the end of the day, Lady Z still got every weapon. She walked out of there with the hammer. She probably will be victorious in all of it. I think that Nicky's going to have to crash and then come back and be rebuilt, because I just don't foresee her stopping anything that Lady Z is doing. And if she does, again, I will have a problem suspending my disbelief at this point, because it doesn't make sense. So yeah. So overall, the episode was good. The only things that made me upset, besides the Joe and Ryan situation, and of course Althea not having more of her story told, is the fact that Simon, who was a potentially amazing character, was killed off. I mean, he's killed, a guardian dead. And Nicky and Henry were so okay with stealing 2 girls' tickets that they paid for, that, did not belong to them, just to get in to go see this guy. So it tells me that there's really not much they won't do to get their mission accomplished. And I don't know how I feel about that either. That's some shady moral values. I'm just throwing that out there. Hi, Serenity. How are you? They tried to save it with that show, them being rude. It's okay if bad things happen to them. Oh, show. Man, I guess Joe really is gone. I was hoping they would really have a talk and he would stay or try the long distance. Yeah, we didn't even get a goodbye scene. We got nothing. He's just, I mean, he's already taken the job. He's already gone. There was nothing. The only thing we got was the scene where he told Ryan that he got offered the job and it's his dream job. And Ryan's like, well, you have to take it. And then he's like, just don't. And then he just backs up and then that's it. There's no emotional, scene where they say goodbye. There's no, let's try long distance. There's nothing of that nature. It's literally like, well, this is over. And that's it. And I like that Althea went to talk to Ryan and try to cheer him up because she is the big sister. And she does say, just because this relationship is over, you still learned a lot from it, because not only was Ryan heartbroken, he was also embarrassed that he brought a guy home finally for his parents to accept. And then the guy up and leaves. And I kind of see that. But at the same time, I mean, it doesn't, like, the whole idea of Joe just being there to bring out Ryan, or basically push Ryan more out of the closet with his parents, is kind of weird to me, because he's already had this conversation. He already had this breakthrough conversation with his dad. Just keep reinforcing that is really weird. I mean, I don't understand why he can't have a successful, stable relationship on this show, because his sister's getting married. His other sister, she has Evan and Henry. Evan's always going to be on standby, and she's with Henry right now. And then he's the one that's like, but my boyfriend had to go get a job. Like, it's just stupid to me. It's really stupid. Whatever. Lady Z is just Lady Shiva to me. I can't see anything else when she is on. I know. Is it bad that I like Lady Z? She's the chosen one. She is so Lady Shiva. She's so Lady Shiva. And Nikki's just not. I mean, Nicky is not even orphan. She's not, I don't know who you compare her to. She's just very good at getting her A kicked. And that's literally, like, when it comes to like helping the people of the week in her show, she's good at that. But when it comes to her actual mission going against Lady Z, she can't. She cannot. And there's this ominous message that Pei Ling told her, eventually she's going to have to leave her family again. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, whatever. I don't care anymore. Like, just go. The real interesting plot for me would have been if Lady Z did all this bad stuff and killed her sister just to be the actual chosen one, and then having to redeem herself, like Rurouni Kenshin style, even though Kenshin really didn't. Well, he did kill people, but he didn't kill his wife on purpose. But like her having that kind of Rurouni Kenshin, type story where she travels around and has to help people to prove she's not an a-hole. I would be down with that. I think that'd be a great storyline. I really do. Because Nikki's story is boring the hell out of me. And I feel so bad because I was so excited to have a almost entirely Asian cast. But I can't. I cannot suspend my disbelief. I cannot be a reviewer that just says what people want to hear because the demographic is good. I can't do that. I have to be real about it, guys. This show is something that I'm losing investment in, like, all of the time. I am more interested in the side characters than I ever will be in Nikki's life. And I am more excited watching Lady Z scenes than I am of Nikki's fight scenes, because Nikki's fight scenes are just not choreographed well. I almost feel like Batwoman and Kung Fu have the same fight choreographer, which is really weird. But Simon rolling out with the hammer, I mean, kind of reminded me a lot of like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. And that part was pretty good. But I mean, the fact that Nicky even needed Simon to take on Lady Z tells me right now, how are you the chosen one? I don't get it. I don't get it. So it's a thing. Was hoping Simon would join Team Kung Fu side. Nope, the show keeps disappointing. I mean, it is what it is. Every time I do a review, an honest review, which is every review, I'm always like, I'm probably going to lose subs over this. So I probably will lose subs over this because I'm going to be brutally honest. They have to fix Nikki's crap, because right now the storyline is shit. So I really need them to figure it out. Yeah, again, her and Henry are adorable. They're a cute little ship, but I don't watch it because she's with Henry. I watch it because she's the chosen one. And she needs to find all of these magical weapons, and she needs to fight Lady Z and now Kerwin, and she needs to do all of these things that she's destined to do. And she's not. She's literally getting her A handed to her like every single week. And I just find myself really more into what's happening with her family and not her. And that's a problem. But again, I should throw this out in the universe. If Lady Z became the chosen one, make her have a Rurouni Kenshin storyline, I would be, this review would take a very big turn, a 180. I would be super excited if they did that, but they won't. They won't because, you know, CW. That's my answer for everything these days. But yeah, that is my review in a nutshell. 20 minutes. That's all we got, guys. It really wasn't that impressive to me. But if you like this episode, let me know in the comments. If you have like ways you think that this series can be improved, also put that in the comments because I would love to know. And I will be doing our Owl House video tomorrow, and I'm going to be watching the Resident Evil animated series later today. So be on the lookout for that. I'm hopefully going to have my review out for that as well tomorrow, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. This is my spouse's birthday weekend, so I'm going to be pretty busy, but I'm going to do my best. But we definitely will have our Owl House video on, not tomorrow morning, on Saturday morning. So yes, be on the lookout. And of course, Charm does not come back until the 13th, I believe. And I'll have to double, triple, quadrupling. I don't think it's the 13th. I think it's the end of this. I think it's the 18th. I'm going to double check my Xfinity because it's all over the place and it's not updating right. So if there is a Charmed episode, that would be awesome. If not, then it is what it is. This feels like the quickest review. That's because it is. There was nothing to it. I'm just going to be real with you. And I will tell River happy birthday for you, Ray. And yeah, so I will see you on our next more than likely live stream for Our House. If it's not a video, and we definitely are going to be talking about Resident Evil, the animated series, but Atypical will definitely be next week. It'll be sometime within the week. Really quickly, too, there is another review that I'm doing. I just put out a non-spoiler review for Fear Street Part 1, 1994. I'm trying to do a collaboration with Quarter Life Jam for our Freaky Weekly so we can talk about it in length, because there were some on-crack moments in that movie. But we'll see. If not, I'll probably end up doing it by myself. So we'll see what happens. And I'm not even missing Charm. I was watching OG series and was like, I missed the life stories and soundtrack. That's a thing. Next stream will be potentially tomorrow if I do the Owl House. I'm not tomorrow, sorry, Saturday if I do the Owl House review. I also have a collaboration coming. I just don't know if it's going to be this week or not. I'm still waiting to see if our schedules line up. So this weekend is going to be River centric. So if you do not see me until Monday, then that's because there's a lot going on. But I really need to do catch-up videos as well, because I am so behind on Republic of Saris, and I know it. 2 episodes now, but trying to fit it into my schedule this week was hard. So got to play catch up with those too. So maybe that will be a live stream. Maybe we'll have a Republic of Sarah one as well. So we will do that and see what happens. But yeah. Last question I need to know about the Emperor. Is he related to Luce or Ida with that hair? Is he cursed? Yep, that's all theories I had in my last review. So yeah, I'm hoping we get a lot more, since I think the library episode is Saturday. So excited. I am excited. All right, guys, if it is day for you, have a good day. If it is evening for you, have a good evening. And I will see you in the next stream or video.